The Mantra Effect.
From the Vedic hymns that have echoed across India for millennia, to the solemn Gregorian chants that filled the great cathedrals of Europe, humanity has always understood the power of rhythmic. But what was once the domain of mystics and priests is now being decoded by neuroscience. It is being revealed as a profound form of neuro-acoustic technology. Today, we explore how organized sound can fundamentally reshape our human biology. Our journey today unfolds in 4 acts. We begin with the physics of resonance, how sound literally organizes the world around us. From there, we'll see how it can physically remodel the brain. Then we shall uncover the biochemical symphony it conducts within us. And finally, we will understand how this ancient practice is in fact a universal cognitive tool, ready for the modern world. So let us begin with our first act, a journey into the world of physics. Here we must reimagine sound. It is not just something we hear, it is a fundamental organizing force of nature. And it is in this principle that we find our first clue to the power of the mantra. To witness this, one need only look to the field of cymatics pioneered by the Swiss physician Hans Jenny. His work gave us a stunning visual proof by vibrating a simple plate of sand with specific sound frequencies. Jenny watched as chaotic particles danced into life, spontaneously forming intricate, stable geometric patterns. It was a clear demonstration of order emerging from chaos driven by nothing more than pure vibration. Now, ancient traditions may not have used the word cymatics, but their complex systems of chanting suggest a deep intuitive grasp of this very principle. They reasoned that if sound could bring order to the external world, perhaps it could do the same for our internal world. A hypothesis that modern neuroscience is now remarkably beginning to confirm. The core mechanism behind this is a process called neural entrainment. And let's be clear, this is not a metaphor. It is a documented physiological response, your brain's own electrical rhythms. Its brain waves begin to oscillate in perfect time with an external rhythmic sound. The mantra, in effect, becomes the conductor for the entire orchestra of the mind. We can see this happening in real time using electroencephalography or EEG studies. The rhythmic recitation of a mantra consistently shifts brainwave activity. You see a rise in alpha waves, which are linked to a state of calm, relaxed awareness. Theta waves are boosted, strengthening the vital connection between our rational control centers and our deeper emotional systems. And in those who have practiced for years, we even see high amplitude gamma synchrony, a brain state associated with peak cognitive function. We move from the immediate fleeting effects of sound on brain waves to its profound long-term impact on the very architecture of the brain itself. This is where the evidence becomes truly astonishing, revealing how a sustained practice can physically build a more powerful and efficient mind. Neuroscientist Dr. James Hartzell was at the forefront of this discovery, coining the term the Sanskrit Effect. His team used advanced MRI scans to look inside the brains of professional Vedic pandits, men who have dedicated their lives, often committing more than 10,000 hours to memorizing and reciting vast ancient text. What they found was nothing short of remarkable. Compared to a carefully matched control group, the pandit's brain showed a massive increase in gray matter density, over 10% more in both cerebral hemispheres. That's a significant expansion of the very neural tissue responsible for processing information, for sensory perception, for thought itself. It is the biological equivalent of a major hardware upgrade, but the changes in the cerebellum were even more striking. This region, once thought to be only for motor control but now known to be vital for complex cognitive functions, was an incredible 33% denser in the practitioners. This points to a profound enhancement of the brain's capacity to coordinate both mental and physical activity, creating a faster, more efficient cognitive machine. And the list of enhancements continued. The
hand, its brains had a significantly larger right hippocampus, a crucial hub for memory formation. The right temporal cortex, which processes sound, was substantially thicker. The constant recitation had effectively supercharged their brain's auditory working memory, turning it into a high-capacity biological hard drive. And this principle is not limited to Sanskrit. It is the act of rhythmic recitation itself, even something as personal as chanting the names of one's ancestors, which appears to drive these beneficial changes.
Moving beyond the brain's physical structure, the mantra effect extends deep into the realm of our neurochemistry. In our third act, we explore how rhythmic sound orchestrates a cascade of molecules, composing an internal symphony that creates tangible feelings of peace, connection, and even joy. The sense of profound well-being that practitioners so often report is not merely a subjective feeling. It has a tangible chemical basis inside the brain. The simple physical act of rhythmic vocalization and controlled breathing stimulates the release of potent cocktail of neurochemicals, fundamentally altering our internal state for the better. So, what's in this powerful cocktail? Well, there's dopamine, the neurotransmitter of reward, creating a sense of pleasure and motivation. There's serotonin, which is vital for mood stability. When chanting is done in groups, the brain releases oxytocin, often called the bonding hormone, fostering deep social connection. And finally, beta endorphins are released, the body's own natural painkillers, which can induce a gentle sense of euphoria. Together, this biochemical cascade often guides the practitioner into what modern psychology terms a flow state. This is an optimal state of consciousness. It's defined by a complete absorption in the activity at hand. The brain's default mode network, the part responsible for our wandering thoughts, our inner monologue, it simply goes quiet. One sense of self seems to dissolve into the action, and time itself becomes fluid. It is a profoundly rewarding state that many researchers now believe is a key ingredient for sustainable happiness. In our final act, we broaden our perspective. We discover that these powerful mechanisms are not exclusive to any single culture, belief system, or ancient language. They are, in fact, a universal feature of human physiology, an internal metronome that anyone, anywhere, can learn to use to regulate their body and enhance their mind. Consider a landmark study where participants recited either traditional yoga mantras or the Latin rosary prayer. The results were startling regardless of their native language or their religious beliefs. The simple act of reciting these rhythmic phrases spontaneously and unconsciously guided their breathing into a very specific and very calming pattern. And that pattern was precisely 6 breaths per minute. This is a critical discovery. It turns out this specific frequency maximizes what is known as baroreflex sensitivity and stimulates the vagus nerve, the superhighway of our parasympathetic or calming nervous system. It is the perfect rhythm to shift the body out of fight or flight and into a state of rest and digest, promoting deep physiological calm. The effects are not limited to the nervous system. The very act of vocalization, especially the humming or nasalized sounds common in many traditions, such as OM, hum, rim, produces a powerful and beneficial biochemical change right inside our own nasal passages. Research has demonstrated that humming can increase the output of nasal nitric oxide by an astonishing 1,500% compared to just breathing silently. The oscillating airflow from the hum literally shakes this potent gas loose from the sinuses. And once in the respiratory tract, it acts as a powerful vasodilator, improving blood circulation and as a potent antipathogen, helping to defend the body. But perhaps the cognitive benefits are most clearly seen in children. In school-based trials, children who took part in daily chanting sessions showed a profound improvement in their ability to sustain attention, an increase of nearly 22%. That is more than 4 times the improvement seen in the control group, suggesting rhythmic recitation is a powerful and accessible tool for training the developing brain to focus. And this leads us to the core thesis of our entire investigation. The profound benefits of this practice are not ultimately derived from the semantic meaning of any particular words, nor from any specific belief system. They are rooted in something far more fundamental: the universal laws of physics and biology. It's the physics of frequency and the rhythm of recitation. The implications of this are far-reaching. For children,
practice is a potent cognitive workout, improving focus and even intelligence. For adults, it is a direct path to a more efficient, more stress-resilient brain. And for all of us, it represents a low-cost, universally accessible tool to actively enhance our mental health across our entire lifespan. This is not just an ancient tradition. It is a cutting-edge tool for building a better mind. We have seen how sound organizes matter, how it remodels the brain, and how it tunes our internal chemistry. This ancient art, now illuminated by the light of modern science, is revealed as a fundamental human technology, and it leaves us all with one rather compelling question. If just 10 minutes of rhythm can begin to physically change your brain, what could you build with the untapped power of your own voice?
Ultimately, we find ourselves at a unique crossroads where the sacred meets the cellular. For millennia, mantras have served as profound vessels for the divine, acting as codified prayers and rhythmic poems designed for long-term memorization. These ancient hymns were crafted to endure through generations, ensuring that the same melodic structures could be sung to please the gods and maintain a spiritual lineage. Yet, as we have seen, this practice is far more than a theological exercise. It is a sophisticated biological technology. Whether through the lens of modern neuroscience or ancient traditions like Kundalini chakra sound healing, the act of chanting is a deliberate tool used to expand intelligence by physically remodeling the brain's hardware, increasing gray matter and enhancing focus. Optimize health by regulating the nervous system through the vagus nerve and boosting protective gases like nitric oxide. Cultivate happiness by orchestrating a biochemical symphony of dopamine and serotonin that leads to a sustainable state of flow and well-being. Whether you view a mantra as a bridge to the heavens or a hardware upgrade for your hippocampus, the result remains the same: a more resilient, focused, and harmonious human experience. It is a reminder that our voices are not just for communication, but for transformation.